You know what's coming, boaty friends. That day has finally come again, guys. Back on the hatches. I've said it once, I'll say it again. If I've got to put up with doing these hatches, then so do you. I mean, learn to embrace it, eh? There we go, and me brass little, what do they call them, bolt locks? Very exciting hatch day. So excited! Are you as excited as me? You excited? Yeah, I think for about a year and a half I've been working my way through these hatches. I've refitted the wood twice, and we've got 3 of these hatch windows, remember? For those new here, we have an accidental Project Narrowboat. Yeah, we were meant to go cruising, we've been lumbered with a Project one now. Don't ask. All I'm saying is make the most of the hatches in this episode, because I'm determined to make it my last. So the wood's been refitted, the frame's been refitted, the locks have been refitted. Well, the bottom locks have been refitted. Welcome to Top Lock Hatch episode. Bex really likes going for the brass ones. I'm not too fussed really, I'll just go for anything on there. I'd have a couple of padlocks on there if it was down to me. Why do you like the brass ones?
Because I think it would look terrible if you had like one stainless steel one, one brass one like pink one. You know, you want it to look nice.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're not wrong, but that's the man's mind against the lady's mind, isn't it, I suppose? Is it? Or is it just my mind against the world? Probably that. So obviously got these ones in, which is all awesome. What I want to do, I want to get one up the top here, really. Also, we are going to add a bit more security than just the 3 little locks. We're going to put a bar thing in the middle as well, I think, but let's get these on first. The problem is, that sits far too close to there. Can you see? So, bring back the stilt. I'm going to have to put a little bit of wood on like this, and then that sits exactly where we need it. I know that's a bit thick, so cosmetically it probably isn't going to look that nice. But when we first got the boat, quite a few of the locks had these stilts all over them, and we didn't really notice. So I'm hoping if we get it on, it'll probably end up looking alright, I think. It's all getting very technical now. I don't really know how you would do this without having a proper saw. Okay, there's your tool. Hold it up against your head. There you go. Actually bigger than her head. We're all locked in. Go! He was moaning a little bit that we didn't have the right saw to do this, and Bex took control of the situation and, yeah, stopped me moaning. Okay, so now we have the lovely little knobbly stilt things. I love referring to them as little stilts. What are they? Spacers. They're stilts, all right? So, we need to get some holes in here first for the screws to go through. Perfect. So Becca is in the last stages of refitting our kitchen, and today she's cracking on with the flooring again.
So I'm making good headway with the flooring here, but before I go any further, in order to make sure I can line everything up properly, I need to just have a bit of a look at the inspection hatch that we have down here. In the past, this was completely floored over the top of, making it completely inaccessible and totally impractical. So I want to make it into a bit of a feature and obviously make it practical to open and have a look underneath should we need to. But even better than that, we're hoping it'll also act as like another little fridge where we can put a little shallow crate and store our veggies and things like that in there in the colder months. So my idea is to use some of this leftover flooring from the back bedroom, which we're probably not going to be using. It's slightly thinner than the flooring the main part of the flooring we're going to be using here. And so I'm going to create a frame around the hatch and then inlay it with some of these. Done my measurements and I've marked out on my boards where I need to cut. So the next stage is to angle the edges so that the frame will fit together nicely, like I did here on the tiles. You can see that. So the easiest way to do this is to overlap your 2 pieces that you want to connect. You need to square them up. Draw a line here and then you reverse them. You do the same the other way around. This shall be a little bit harder. So you essentially end up with a square on each one. Then you literally draw a line from this corner here to this corner here, and then do the same on your other piece in the opposite direction, and then you lock off this bit and this bit, and hopefully the two will just sit together nicely. So let's mark up the other pieces and then go cut them with the jigsaw and see if my theory is correct. Wood tips with Bex.
So back onto my top locks, and yeah, we just want to round the corners off here just to make it look all lovely. First time using a Dremel ever. Take the ends off here. There we go, all looking roundy and lovely. Do they look lovely? Yeah. Time to load up on yacht varnish, shake well before use. And for this job, I'm going in gloveless. Probably one of the only times you probably want to be wearing gloves as well. We'll lay that out to rest so it doesn't explode.
So there we go, voila. The idea is that in the inside of here will sit several lengthways planks like this. I'm going to leave that in a fleshy bit until I have lined up the main body of the floor so that I can match up the lines, otherwise I think it'll look a bit weird and disjointed.
So what we do here, we hammer it into the top when it's got the screws in it, and that should leave the little indents. And we take those out, and we got the little holdies there. See, Becca has taught me well. That's the Becca trick, isn't it?
Oh, I can't tell you how in love with this flooring I am. I'm just absolutely loving it. It's like even better because it's, if someone could take a look at it and just be like, ugh, rubbish. But then when you repurpose it and you bring it back to life, there's nothing sort of more beautiful than that, I think. It's just lovely. Putting my floor to bed.
Good.
I'm like being uber protective over it. Like so.
Yeah, she's different, I'll give her that. So protective.
One man and his hatch. The saga continues.
It's a tricky one because, you know, I'm a bit tired, I've never done this before. And I've whacked that in there to sort of line it up, but I've got to drill into these hatches, and you know these hatches, they're always going wrong, aren't they? Let's go. It's just, what's the worst that can happen? You just have to take them all back down again, isn't it? Oi, yeah! Oi! Return of the stilt.
I reckon it's not the only boat in the universe to have them.
The only other way of getting around it by losing the stilt would be to completely, I think, take both doors off the narrow boat and sort of make it all so everything sits together flush again, because the metal's warped, the wood's warped. There's no other way of shutting those hatches without sort of taking them off and messing around with the actual hinges. So this is really the only option, I think, is the stilt. Day 2, hatch number 2. So again, we'll start off with drilling the holes. We'll go up there. And now for the biggie. Shiny, shiny. Now, we've got to get a hole into the top bit here for that to slot into. So hatch number 3, we're going to lift the lock up the top. We're going to get a pencil and we're just going to mark up where we've got to put the hole. So these are screwed in, but I'm going to hammer it out because it's pretty tight. Now I'm hoping if I start to drill in that with a tiny little drill, we can start to make a sort of little crevice for the top lock to sit into. If I drill all the way around it, and the little bit in the middle should be the bit that we need cutting out. Should be. Crowbodge 101. So a complete blag here. You'd think by drilling in a few holes and then pinching out the middle, you know, that is a way to make a crevice. Look at that. But will it come at the price of looking crap? That doesn't look bad at all, does it? This is exactly the way that you do it. Don't let anyone tell you there's another way to do it. This is exactly how to do it. So I'd adopted a little twizzling technique with the drill. Perfect.
I've sanded all the boards across the main section of the floor, and so now I'm just starting to prepare the boards, i.e. cut round the bits that need to be cut round on this side, which is a bit tricky because you need to get everything lined up really well.
So it's probably a good idea to get some wood stain on here. I'm going to put some of the old Ronseal in there, I think. Probably a good idea, isn't it? Protects it. Crowbot protection. Hey, all still wet. It's the way I work. Should probably let the bloody thing dry, but I've got no patience. I want to get it up there. So what you're about to witness is the first hatch being completed. Okay, you ready? Look at that. And fits in absolutely snug. Perfect. Oh yeah. Until the summer months when it swells up. Yeah, we'll make for another little hatchy episode, won't it? Always think positive.
So guys, this is what I've managed to achieve today. So although the floorboards aren't properly glued and nailed down just yet, they're all laid out, they're cut to shape to fit around the cupboards and stuff. The hatch is sort of there ready for an inlay, probably tomorrow. And also they're all sanded back as well, so you see this lovely wood underneath, which we're gonna, I think, keep quite natural, aren't we? Maybe put an oil or a wax on it.
But you have to take your shoes off here. There's going to be a little rail where we put our shoes on, and then you can walk through barefoot. Not even socks are allowed.
So I said to Chris yesterday, oh, whilst it's like naked, i.e. hasn't got any protective varnish on or anything, and I'm laying it down, we'll have to be careful with shoes, could you maybe take them off? He took that to mean that forevermore he was never going to be allowed to wear shoes in the kitchen.
If it was me doing it, it would have just been like some mats. This wouldn't be all like scaffolding board stuff. It would just, I told Bex, I would have just got like, you know, like you get those little desks from Argos, like school desks that kids have in their bedroom. I would have just had a couple of them in there with like saucepans on the top and stuff.
And this is why you need me.
The fresh ones. It's amazing. Some stuff just doesn't come up great. I done these, didn't I? And they come up all right. Those came up like brand new, didn't they? Maybe you should do them. You are in for a treat, guys, because it is so impressive what Becca has managed to do with this little inspection hatch. But more of that in a little bit. Let's get these last two hatches finished. Okay, that's another one done. Get a little bit of varnish on that too. On to our third and final hatch. And this one will have to be done at a slight angle, so the hole looks big, but it isn't, trust me guys. Hatch number 1, complete! Apart from that horrible little bit that we're missing. So annoying. Ugh. Hatch number 2, complete! Hatch number 3, complete!
What I want is these to line up, because if they were like that, I think it'd look weird.
So Becca has sanded all the tiles down here now, and check this out. This is our lovely little hatch. Look how cool it looks! See ya!